Hello and welcome to Art This Week. This week we are learning about Sonia Delaunay. Now Sonia Delaunay was a French painter and she loved to create these vibrant artworks full of geometric patterns. Now this next artwork we're looking at is inspiration for today's lesson. So I want you to look at the colours and the shapes as well, and we are going to create something similar. So the things you will need today is some paper, pencil, textures, colouring things, and a whole lot of circular objects that we can trace around. You'll also need a ruler if you have one. So I'm going to move them aside. I've got lots of different shapes. And with my paper, I'm just using an A4 bit of paper, I am going to draw a line using a ruler, but I don't have one. Mine's a little bit too short, as you can see. So if you're the same as me, you can get the side of a book or a magazine, and I'm going to draw a line diagonally. Okay, it's not straight down the middle, it's on a little bit of an angle. Okay, so once I take this away, you can see what I mean. So it's going all the way from the top to the bottom. Okay, it's on a little bit of a slant, so make sure that you do that. Now you are going to get some of your shapes and you are going to trace around them. You are not tracing around the whole shape. You are just doing half of the shape. Okay, so it's sitting on your line. So I'm going to go ahead and trace around half. So a semicircle. Done. Okay, just on one side. I want you to choose another shape. And I want you to put that somewhere else on your page. You are going to trace around. Take that away and you can see my artwork is starting to come together. You can add smaller lines inside your half circles. And now I'm speeding up my video a little bit and you can see that I'm filling my page with lots of different lines. I'm using circles. Now I'm slowing this one down again because I want you to see. You'll need a eraser as well because I did this one and I'm not super happy with how it looks. It's not equal, so I'm just going to rub that line out and I'll replace it with one that's a bit more symmetrical. So choosing the right line for you, getting rid of any of the little ends that jut out onto the other side. So think of both sides as very different. Just going to rub that one out. So whatever you do on one side, don't follow it through onto the other. So I'm getting some bigger lines and adding them with bowls, plates, Tupperware lids. So I have almost finished all of my lines. I'm just adding in the final ones there. And now it is time to start adding colour. So you can use a combination of things. You can use markers, pencils, textures, paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a combination of textures and then I'm going to move on to watercolour paint halfway through. So you want to make sure that you're using a wide range of colours, just like Sonia did in her artwork. So think about trying to use bold colours, bright rainbow colours, and using both warm and cool. That way it can pop out of your page. Notice how I am colouring in one direction. It means that there's no white parts left. So I'm not scribbling to colour in, using one direction of colouring. It's a lot easier that way. Make sure you're careful about those edges. You're not going outside the lines. Now I'm about to add watercolour paint here, but if you don't have any, you can keep using markers or pencils. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of water. Now, when we're using watercolour, it is hard to get those really sharp lines, so I'm doing it more on the bigger areas rather than the super small half circles. I'm also adding in a little bit of black just to make it pop out, and I coloured those in with a marker just so I could get a really precise line. The artwork's really starting to come together. I'm just adding those final favourite colours. That nice big black so it really pops out of the page. And we're done. Can't wait to see your work.